welcome back to BB Kids. In this session we are going to be experimenting with some natural dyed Easter eggs. To make your naturally dyed eggs, you're going to need some eggs. Always have some spares in case any of them break in the process. You'll need as many stainless steel pans as you have, a sieve, some bowls, mixing spoons, teaspoons, cutting board, cutting knife, as many jam jars as you would like to make dyes, a tablespoon measure, measuring jug, 1 cup measure, equivalent to 250 millilitres, and some white vinegar. You're also going to need some items with which to experiment and create dyes with. We used red cabbage, nettles, spinach, turmeric and cayenne pepper mix, yellow onion skins, blueberries and red onion skins. If you'd like to make patterns on your eggs, you're also going to need some old tights and some scissors. Preparing your eggs is best done the night before, and you need to make sure that they are clean, so run them under the water and ensure that any dirt is off them. Once they are clean, place them into a pan and fill it up with water so they are fully covered. Then bring them up to the boil and turn them down to simmer for 10 to 12 minutes. Then you can leave them to cool. The next morning, take yourselves on a lovely family walk, and on the way, be sure to collect some grasses, leaves, and if you can find some early blooms. These can be used to create patterns on your eggs. If you want to eat your eggs afterwards, be sure to only use edible plants or herbs. We also came across some early nettles and decided to pick some to use as our dye. Once home, then becomes the time to measure out and sort all of your lovely ingredients for the dyes. For all but the turmeric and cayenne pepper mix, you are going to need 1 cup's worth of each of your dye materials, and where possible chop those up and fill your cup right to the top. A cup measure is the same as 250 millilitres if you're doing it in a measuring jug. For the turmeric and cayenne pepper, we used 2 tablespoons of turmeric and 1 of cayenne pepper. With your dye materials all prepared, you're ready to create the dye mix. For each cup of dye material, you will need 250 millilitres of water to be added into the pan as well. Make sure that you push all your materials down underneath the water level and then stir. Slowly bring them up to the boil, and then once they are boiling, let them simmer for 15 to 20 minutes with the lid on the pan. If you want to do patterning on your egg, now is the time to prepare your tights while the dyes are cooling. Double up your tights and just check the length of your egg. You're going to need about 10 centimetres per egg. Then snip through. Complete this all the way up the leg of your tights and place them to the side, ready for use later. Once the dyes are cool, you're ready for the next stage. Place your measuring jug inside a large bowl or pan and then place your sieve on top. Pour your dye material through the sieve and strain. Then take the dye with the jug and replace that with a jam jar inside the bowl or pan. Then pour from the measuring jug into the jar your beautiful dyes. You will only need to fill the jam jar about 2/3 full. Then do this process for each of your dyes, remembering to clean the jug and the sieve out in between each time. Then be sure to marvel at the beautiful colours that nature can provide us with. Aren't they just stunning? If you want to create patterning on your eggs, take the foraged petals and leaves that you collected and either dampen the leaves or the eggs and attach them onto the surface, as you can see here. Once you are happy, take one of your nylon nettings and place your egg inside. Pull tight and then tie a knot in the other end. If your tights have no knots at either end, you're going to have to create 2 knots. One to begin with. Then dampen your egg or the leaves and decorate your egg with the patterns. And then finally, place your egg inside the net and tie a knot at the other end as before. Next, take your tablespoon measure and pour approximately a tablespoonful of white vinegar into each of your dyes and stir. Then you are ready to place your eggs into the dyes. Leave the eggs in the dye for a minimum of 2 hours and anything up to overnight in a refrigerator for the dyes to seal. These eggs were left to soak for 2.5 hours before we removed them. Longer times should yield darker and more vibrant colours. Once all your eggs are out of the dye, you can reveal your final outcome by snipping away the tights and removing any of the leaves or petals that you may have used for patterning. They may not all come out perfectly, but this one was pleased as punch with hers. Remember, not all of your eggs have to have patterning on them. You can also do them with solid colour. Either way, enjoy this activity and make it your own. We hope you've enjoyed it. Take care. Bye from Weeby Kids.